Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are kickstarting this week's vlog with a trip to the garden centre. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I've been to the garden centre. My main intention of going was for getting bits for starting seeds in the house. So I went with this seed and cutting compost. Now the reason I went with this one primarily was because it was peat free. I don't think I've ever used this brand before, but peat free was my main option. They did have another one that I recognise the name of the brand, but I can't think of it now. But it didn't state that it was peat free. So yeah, that was why I went with this one. But it does say that it's that, is it coir and wood fibre, which I see quite a lot. Yeah, 4 weeks feed, that sort of thing. So perfect for sowing seeds. So that was what I wanted. I don't know the absolute ins and outs of compost at this point, or what's good, what's not good, but if it does what it says on the tin, great. Also, if I just grab these bits out of here, I grabbed these half seed trays. Now the reason that I got these ones was because I've already got like the trays that these go into, so these have got holes in them in the bottom to let it drain, and I've already got the trays that these slot into to catch that water. So I'm not sure that these will be the best. They do feel a little bit thin, but I'm hoping I will get some decent use out of them. But yeah, that's a pack of 8 that I've got in there, and they're Grow Sure by Westlands. So yeah, as I say, I recognise the brand, and this was just all from my local independent garden centre. And then I got these to give these a go. So they're the fibre pots. I think more for potting on, maybe, than actual doing the seedlings. But yeah, so biodegradable wood pulp, and there's 24 in there. So I went with that because it's the biodegradable option, obviously still wrapped in plastic. You can't seem to get away from plastic with gardening stuff, probably because these are biodegradable. So as soon as they start getting wet, they're going to degrade, which is probably why they've wrapped them in plastic. But yeah, so £2.99 for 24. And again, I'll just see how they go. So I just brought one set just to see how I get on with them. And then the final thing that I bought was a little dibber, because it was £1.99. You can use other things, just to poke holes in your soil to put the seeds in, or when you're potting on, you can use it to make gaps big enough to put your little seedlings into so that you don't damage the roots too much. But yeah, it was £1.99. And you can use other things like a pen or similar, probably even like a knitting needle or something like that. But yeah, just grab that because it was a good price and it'll be handy to have. And that was my little haul from the garden centre, so I can get cracking on my seeds when I'm ready. Hello everyone, just keeping an eye out at the moment because we are eagerly anticipating a delivery of a tonne of compost. I think the councillor's coming. But yeah, so just getting set, and my intention is down here along the side of the allotment. That's my first plan, is to get just keeping an eye on what's going on over there. Yeah, is to just get a bed down that one side at least with the tonne. But yeah, councillor's coming, so I'll leave you to it, and I'll catch up in a sec. Oh lovely, look at that. That's lovely. That'll do. Ton of that. Get that shifted. goodness, look at this mess behind me. That's all my spare cardboard that I've just shoved in the shed. So it's quite busy down here today. But we've managed to move the tonne of compost. Definitely need more than 1 tonne. But we've just pulled back the weed suppressant, laid our cardboard down, and then tipped the compost on top of it. That's no dig, essentially. Easy as that. And then another one of the beds that I hadn't done very well covering with cardboard, and then I'd covered it with like some straw and stuff. I've laid that with cardboard again, and we've put a good amount of compost in there, so it should be good to plant in as well. And I think that's possibly going to be my flower bed. That's the one right at the front of my plot, but we'll see. I'll see what I turn it into, because I think for the first year it will just be planting where I've got space and making sure that I'm not planting anything that, I've got mud on my nose, haven't I? Not planting anything that sort of doesn't grow well next to each other, will be about it. I did do a little time lapse, so I've popped that in. I don't know how good it's going to be or how in shot we were going to be. Today was less about filming and more about getting it done. Yeah, and then so I spent a lot of time today, more time than I wanted to, taking sellotape off of the cardboard boxes, which is why we're still not done. I was meant to come down and do it yesterday, but I had a call on Wednesday from a dog rescue charity asking if I could go and pick a dog up from the vets and be their emergency foster placement, because he's quite poorly, and he needed a home basically. So I said yes, of course I will go and do that. So I spent yesterday driving up to the vets where he was, picking him up, bringing him home and settling him in. So that took priority yesterday over the allotment, which I'm sure you guys understand, but we'll see. Some of you might be like, what? Something else took priority over the allotment. But yeah, so it means that we've only got I'd say probably 2/3 of the compost down as beds, and then we've just filled up one of my other compost bays, just that one there, with the remaining of the compost that we didn't lay enough cardboard down to make into a bed. I didn't want to completely rush it. There's no point. I'm not desperate to be planting anything in the ground or anything at the moment, and we've got a substantial amount of space to grow stuff in the ground, if push come to shove. But yeah, so it'd just be slow going, bit here, bit there, getting it done. I mean, who knows, I might even only grow in half of the sort of plot this year. That might be all that I'm able to make into beds, but I mean, I've got a whole bed full of garlic already, so who knows. We do still have time until the spring properly kicks in, that's for certain. It's obviously early February now, so we've still got plenty of time to make new beds and get stuff in the ground. Okay, so I just thought I would finish that video where I can speak a bit louder, so I'm just in the car. But the compost got delivered today, as I said. Local guy came and delivered a ton of it, and it's, from what I think, as far as what I know about compost, I think it's pretty good quality. It looked good, it felt good. There was some bigger pieces in there, but I mean, I'm not too concerned about that at this point. They weren't absolutely ginormous or anything like that, like branches or anything silly. They were just tiny little twigs that hadn't quite broken down yet, but I think that's okay. It definitely looked nice and soft, and I could plant into it without those bits getting in the way of roots, I'm pretty certain. Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. So the guy bought the compost I showed you in a 1 tonne bag, and we split it open, and then as my other half, who'd come and help me today, was bringing the wheelbarrow to the allotment and tipping, to the plot and tipping the compost onto the beds, I'd put my hand in it to bring it down out of the wheelbarrow steady. It was so warm. I know that compost gets warm anyway, but I wasn't expecting it to be after he'd loaded it into the 1 tonne bag and travelled with it on the back of a trailer, etc. And then it was then lifted, shoveled into the wheelbarrow. I wasn't expecting it to still be warm, but it really was. So yeah, that was unexpected. But yeah, it seems really good stuff. So I did take his number, and I will contact him for more as and when, I think. But now that I know what it sort of takes, how long it takes to unload, that sort of thing, and more importantly how much a tonne actually covers on my plot, I can definitely be better prepared next time, because I was like, oh my god, is a tonne gonna completely cover all of my plot and I'm gonna be left with loads spare? Obviously that wouldn't be a bad thing. Or is 1 tonne just going to cover one bed? Like, I literally could not work it out whatsoever. So I'm glad that I've been there and seen it today, seen what it covered. It did cover quite a lot, but I will need another few tonnes. But first priority is going to wash my hands, and because I keep putting mud all over my face, which is obviously gross, but I'm going to go wash my hands, and sort myself out with a bit of lunch. But yeah, I will catch you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and are enjoying watching the progress that I'm slowly making on the plot. And yeah, I'm really looking forward now to the new season.